Okay, so let's talk about the anime Trese, the possibility of it having multiple seasons, and a possible problem it might have. Recently, I read that if ratings remain high enough, Trese could be renewed for multiple seasons. And that's good. Trese is a great anime that deserves more than just one season. And what's better about it is that it wasn't crafted to cater to the international market. They could have, but they made it cater to the Filipino audience instead. They made it so that if a Filipino were to watch it, they would say, "That's so Filipino." And they succeeded, at least for me. It would have been so easy so that more of the international crowd could resonate with it. But instead, you're left with the nuances that might confuse them a little bit. You know, the signs spread out, the railway system, the politics. You know, they could have left all those things out. But those are very, very Filipino things. And I'm glad they didn't. That was a good move. If you're mainly targeting the Filipino community, little things like those would just make the anime more compelling to watch. Sure, it's not perfect, but no anime really is. How does it compare to the other anime? Well, check out my review, the link's in the description, and I'll leave a card on the upper right corner of the screen. Anyway, with the sheer number of Filipinos out there, if you're targeting the Filipino community, it isn't such a bad idea. We have a term called Filipino baiting where you just put anything there with Filipino stuff in it and Filipinos will flock to it. This is different. This is a show with substance. This is a show where the story doesn't revolve around baiting Filipinos into watching it because there are Filipino elements in it. This is a story in itself. It just so happens it's in the Philippines. Okay, so back to what I said about the nuances that make this series so Filipino. Again, they could have made it more accessible for the international fans. If they took out some of the details they wouldn't have understood. They could have taken out references where only homegrown Filipinos could appreciate, but they kept it there. They made sure that homegrown Filipinos will get a taste of their culture through this anime. They made sure that people with a Filipino heritage would get an idea of how it is really here. What they did with the setting as a Filipino, I truly appreciated it. And seeing it on screen, knowing that many other international geeks were seeing the Philippines as it was gratifying. All the bad, all the good, all the funny, I appreciated it being there. Also, if you appreciate this video, please give it a like too. Anyway, after watching the whole series, or at least the first season if it gets renewed, I can proudly say that this series is so Filipino. By the way, if you're an international fan watching this, I also made a video explaining a few of the stuff you might not understand. It might help. Again, the link's in the description, and there's a card in the upper right corner of the video. Okay, a potential problem that the series might have is that there are only 6 volumes of the Trese comics, and the 6 episodes already covered half of it. I think what happened here is that they had to adapt it to the media, being anime, changing the pacing so that it's more coherent, especially with them not knowing if there would be a second season or not. If they were to continue the series, I wouldn't want it to become like an 8-season Game of Thrones thing where everything's being thrown at it and there's no sense. I still want the story to be authentic. I want substance, just like what we got, hopefully, in what we can call the first season. I hope the high ratings continue so that we can have multiple seasons. Yeah, the anime is just so Filipino.